Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to read to you Chapter 2 from book number 7, Mischief and Masquerade from my Matched in Miracle series. This is a fun rom-com. In the first chapter, we learn that Emily and Kate have switched places. Kate is a wealthy heiress, and Emily is her best friend. So I'm going to read to you. Kate dragged her bag, along with Emily's, across the threshold and headed into the lobby. Both of their suitcases were heavy, and with no bellhop to take them from her, she struggled to get them inside while Emily stood and watched. If she wasn't careful, her best friend would let being the wealthy socialite go to her head. With all the confidence Kate would have used, Emily approached the desk clerk. "We're here to check in." "Name?" the woman in her mid-20s asked. "Catherine Wellington. My traveling companion Emily Hayes and I have reservations." "Oh, welcome, Miss Wellington." The clerk smiled at her. "I'm Lacey Cooper, the owner of Miracle Inn. I've assigned you to the top suite, room 304. She handed Emily 2 keys with tags on them. "I'm sorry we're not more formal, like the bigger hotels, but I think you'll find our inn quite charming." "Thank you." Kate nodded slightly. "The elevator is right around the corner there," Lacey pointed, "and down the hall is the Sweethearts Cafe." She reached into a basket and handed Emily 2 business-sized cards. "This is a voucher for breakfast for your entire stay." Kate peered over her shoulder. Someone set the date for the cards for 2 weeks. Could she get to know the Baron in that amount of time? Maybe this was a crazy idea after all. She was about to correct the assumption that Kate and Emily had switched places when the bell attached to the door behind her rang. 2 men entered. One had the blue eyes, blonde hair, and muscular build of Richard Devonshire. The one who drew her attention, however, was the other guy. His dark brown eyes and nearly black hair contrasted sharply with his pale skin. Her heart did a little flip. She wished she could peg his ethnicity. Italian, maybe? His well-trimmed beard did nothing to hide his luscious lips, and she couldn't make her eyes stray from them. This man was hotter than a 4-alarm fire, and Kate's heart pounded wildly in her chest. What would her parents do if she fell for someone else? She instantly prayed this man was staying on the 3rd floor, too. What she should pray for was that everything would go off without a hitch, and that she'd end up hitched by the time they left Miracle, Texas. Emily stepped out of the way and stared open-mouthed at the 2 men. The gorgeous hunk strode to the counter. "Hello, my name is Oliver Smith. I believe you have reservations for the Earl of Ravenswood, Richard Devonshire." His thick English accent sent little zing straight to her heart. That wasn't the guy in the picture. Could he be the Earl's personal assistant, like the part she was playing for Emily? "Oh, yes." Lacey tapped on her computer screen. "You must be the Earl's aide." "Indeed, madam." Such protocol. Lacey finished her reservations on the computer and retrieved 2 more sets of keys. "I have put you on the 3rd floor. The suite is right next to mine and across the hall from these lovely ladies." God was so good to her today and answered part of her silent plea. Lacey handed 2 keys to Oliver. He looked at them as if he'd never seen such devices before. "You do not have digital locks?" "I'm sorry, but we're a small hotel and few guests." Lacey smiled sweetly at him. "I promise the keys will keep the riffraff out." He raised his eyebrows. "Do you have that sort of guests?" Lacey chuckled. "I was teasing." Wow, what a stuffed shirt. This wasn't like a 5-star hotel in London. This was small-town USA. Was the Earl snobbish about his accommodations? Kate hid a chuckle with a fake cough. Oliver eyed her, his face a mixture of interest and concern. "Are you all right, miss?" "Oh, yes, I'm fine." She held out her hand. "Oliver Smith, is it?" Kate asked. Oliver's hand swallowed hers with his large fingers. Yes, and who might you be? A niggle of guilt crept into her gut. Emily Hayes. Now that she'd revealed her friend's name, she was committed to this deception. How do you do? He bowed stiffly to her. Wow, such formality. Kate had to resist the urge to curtsy. We'll be staying across the hall from you. Kate motioned to Emily. I'm Miss Wellington's personal assistant. The Earl, Kate assumed, turned his attention to Emily. Ah, then you must be Kate Wellington. He didn't quite look as handsome in person. Did someone Photoshop his online images? Still, he was rather good looking, but not like his assistant. Emily reached out her hand. Why, yes, I am. She sounded like she was trying to convince herself. Don't blow it in the first minute, Emily. Kate studied the Earl's mannerisms as he held out his hand to take Emily's. Instead of a handshake, he brought her fingers to his lips and kissed them lightly. Wow, this guy was chivalrous. Emily giggled, sounding like a schoolgirl. Oliver rolled his eyes and shot his gaze at Kate as if to ask, is she really that immature? Kate raised her nose in the air back at him. How dare he diss her best friend like that when he was only the Earl's aide? From behind the counter, Lacey cleared her throat. I'll have Tanner take your suitcases to your rooms. Thank you. Oliver stepped toward the elevator. Oh, I meant the ladies. Lacey smiled sweetly. I'm sure buff men like you can handle yours. She pointed. Elevator is right there. Oliver puffed out his chest at her comment. Of course, madam. He grabbed the handle of both their cases and strode through the lobby. The Earl hadn't turned loose of Emily's hand. Will you dine with me for dinner? I'd be honored. Emily gave a little curtsy. Goodness, she was taking her role too far. I'll meet you here, say, about 6. Emily cast a silly smile across her face. Lovely, Your Highness. Her words came out light and breathy. Please, call me Rick. He grabbed the handle of the rolling suitcases and headed for the... He grabbed the handle of his rolling suitcase and headed for the elevator, where Oliver held the door open for them. Leaning sideways to keep her eye on Rick, Emily watched him until the door slid closed. She spun around, letting a breathy sigh blow out between her parted lips. Oh, we're in trouble. So that was chapter 2, read rather haltingly. I'm sorry for the mistakes, but I haven't read through this story in a long time, and I'm having fun going through it a second time. Anyway, I hope you'll join me next week for chapter 3, and in the meantime, I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Love you.